company called the Glendo Corporation. Write their name down. Glendo, kind of like a masculine word for Glinda. Corporation. Which is a parent company for GRS Tools. They create engraving tools. And these tools were primarily marketed to gun and knife engravers. And the tools that they're famed for are actually pneumatic tools. They're air powered. So they look like regular engravers, except there's an air feed that goes into the back of them. And there's a foot pedal or button in the handle that regulates the amount of air pressure that goes into them. So it's like a little jackhammer. So it's designed to cut into very hard materials like guns and knives. So what they wanted to do is start a program exclusively based off of engraving. And the program's funded through an endowment through that company. Started in 2006. I started the job there in 2007. And our program kind of straddles 2D and 3D. So we do make prints, but we work on objects too. So I have a few object examples up here, but since this is mainly about printmaking, there's mainly some engravings on the table over here. I don't know if how many of you have had a chance to get a look at any of this stuff. I'm going to talk about this for a second.
Do the engraving students have training in art programs too, or is it just engraving?
No, it's a BFA program, so they have to take everything.
So it is linked with the art program.
Oh yeah, it's a BFA. It just happens to be in engraving. So yeah, they have to take everything, and some of them make prints, and some of them fabricate their own things, and some of them work on objects too. Well, the first thing I'll talk about is how to sharpen these tools, and I'll pass a couple around. You can look at. You guys are probably familiar with this kind of graver with the wooden handle and the bent blade. Okay, this is the kind of tool that I learned on, and I think this may be it's an EC Lions graver. Whenever I got the job at Emporia, I had never heard of this company. I'd never heard of any of these tools, and when they heard I was a printmaker, they started designing tools that would, because they knew I pushed, they knew that I didn't use air power. They started designing tools that would. The difference between these two, first off, first it's sleek and black, but it's plastic and aluminum here. The blade is straight, but there's a heel that's grinded on the tip of the blade, so you can still angle it as if it is bent. The other cool feature of this is one problem that I used to have whenever I would teach this in my printmaking classes, is these blades are too long for some people. I don't know if anyone's ever gotten one of these and is just way too long to work with. I had one student that ordered one that was really thin and the blade was super long, and one day I was in the back of the room helping someone print, and I heard a pop and then a scream and then someone leaning over and about had a heart attack. This is my first outside of grad school teaching experience, and I ran over there and I go, okay, what happened? Are you okay? And she said, and she was kind of moving, and I kind of looked at her. She was laughing. I thought she was like writhing in pain. And turns out what had happened was she broke the blade in 3 places. I was like, wow, I'm actually kind of impressed. And I still have it because I was so blown away. I think I gave her a graver without having to buy another one because I was so blown away. Anyway, you can adjust the length of these blades. So there's a little Allen wrench that comes with it.
That's
and
cool.
there's these 2 screws right here. So if you have smaller hands, you can push the blade in.
That's cool.
It's about as far in as it goes right now, but you can compare the length. It's a lot shorter. Or you can make it longer. I don't think think it gets quite as long.
So are those trickier to sharpen if it's got like an extra surface at the bottom that you need to kind of grind away to as you're sharpening it?
The hone will take care of that, and I'll explain that in a second. But yeah, to get the bottom, you need a special jig to get it to grind that properly. The last thing is these are made out of a different material. The steel is. This is just like tool steel, and this is some crazy hard Wolverine adamantium style carbide that this blade is made out of. So I've gone long periods of time without actually having to sharpen this. I'll just maybe put a little polish on it every once in a while, but I don't rarely have to grind it down. And this is, let me write the name of it down. And one of the reasons why I titled my presentation in the 21st century, was because these tools are new. So it's like this really old school style of working, but with these new improved tools. So a lot of my presentation is going to be about these. So you can buy these pre-ground. They're already made. The kit's already all together. Comes with an Allen wrench and all that.
So it comes with one handle and several blades that you can interchange? Or?
Just one blade. It comes with one blade, but you can buy other blades. The other cool thing is you can actually buy the handle separate, and you can buy the blades separate. You can buy blank blades, and you can grind your own geometry. Something like that. Well, I didn't draw it right. When you buy these, the angle here is 100 degrees. The angle on these is 90 degrees. It just by default comes that way. The reason I had suggested to them to do it at 100 degrees is you can get, when the angle's wider like that, you can get swelling of mark a little bit better. So that nice tapering that's part of engraving from thin to thick, because these blades overall really aren't that wide. And some people like that old style, like that from the Lasansky area where there's lots of digging and stuff like that. You know, you'd want that kind of mark, so you can still get something like